sort of dawned on me that love was the answer when I was younger. On the Beatles' Rubber Soul album, the first expression of it was a song called The Word. The Word is love. In the good and the bad books I have read, whatever, where the Word is love seemed like the underlying theme to the universe, or to everything that was worthwhile, got down to this love, love, love thing. And it was the struggle to love, be loved, and express that. You know, there's something about love that's fantastic, even though I'm not always a loving person. I want to be that. I want to be as loving as possible, or in the Christian sense, as Christ-like as possible, in the Hindu sense, as Gandhi-esque as possible. We all survived Vietnam or Watergate or the tremendous upheaval of the whole world that's changed. We were the hip ones in the 60s, but the world is not like the 60s anymore. The whole map's changed, and we're going into an unknown future, but we're still all here. We're still, while there's life, there's hope. Any artist or poet's role is to try and express what we all feel, not to tell people how to feel, not as a preacher, not as a leader, but as a reflection of us all. And it's like, that's the job of the artist in society, they're not some alienated being living on the outskirts of town. It's fine to live on the outskirts of town, but artists must reflect what we all are. That's what it's about, artists. All we're saying is give peace a chance literally came out of my mouth as a spoken word to a reporter, after being asked millions and millions of times, what are you doing? Well, all I'm saying is give peace a chance, not that I have the answer or I've got a new format for society, because I don't, and I don't believe anybody else has. Show me the plan, as Revolution said. You know, the Beatles' Revolution, my Revolution song says, show me the plan before we knock all the buildings down, you know. Imagine is the same thing. You hit it right in the head. It's just imagine if there were no countries. Not no places where we each had our little spot, but imagine there was a time, you know, when you didn't have to have a passport to go from country to country. What kind of world do we create? Really, it used to be you could go around, you know. What is this game that you can't get, that somehow this is America and then just across the field is Canada, and that you have to have all kinds of papers and pictures and stamps and passports and, you know, I mean, when you think about it, it's insane. It's insane carving up the world into little patches like that. The concept of imagining no countries, imagining no religion, not imagining no God. Although you're entitled to do that too. Imagining no denominations. Imagining that we revere Jesus Christ, Mohammed, Krishna, Milarepa equally. We don't have to worship either one, that we don't have to, but imagine there's no Catholic Protestant, no Jew Christian, that we allow it all, freedom of religion for real, I mean, for real. Just imagine it. Would it be so terrible? We have to project a positive future. I mean, I think that's what Christ and Mohammed and those people were saying in their way, in their time, but for their society. I would say the people have the power. I don't mean power of the gun. They have the power to make and create the society they want. We all created this together. It wasn't a few kings or a few generals. We might have invested the power in Napoleon, or the Germans might have been hypnotized by Hitler. Does that make the Germans different from the rest of the human race? No way. You know, it could have happened anywhere. It just happened there at that moment in time. Okay? And also, the world, we do breathe in and we breathe out. So you go to the left, you go to the right. It's in the long term, it's meaningless. Even since I was a conscious of politics, it was the right in the 50s, the left in the 60s, and sort of nothing in the 70s, and it's going to the right. If everybody's going to panic and just react to an illusionary right wing that's going to kill everybody, well, that's what you're going to get. I believe that it doesn't have to be like that just because the guy has a right wing or supposedly has a different political view than other people. Now, personally, I've never voted in my life. How do you like that? Now, there's a Beatles book that was handed out on the 1964 tour a book of photographs, and on the top of it shows this young John Lennon in his usual big mouth way saying, no phony politician's ever going to get through to me. Well, I take the phony politician out because I don't think all politicians are phony. I won't categorize even politicians now because I've learned a lot since I was 23. But I don't think politics is the only answer. I think this idea that we elect these leaders and then expect them to do miracles for us. Now, Kennedy is a big dream for everybody because he didn't live to fulfill or let us down. And it's not to negate what Kennedy was and what he means to people. But the reality is, had he lived, how do you know how well he would have done at the time, right? Or how the war would have gone and how everything would have gone. So investing leaders with supernatural powers, whether they be pop stars, politicians, or movie stars, or football heroes, it don't work. It just doesn't work. Because we put them up on the pedestal and immediately we want to knock them off. It is too much invested in one man, one group. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe the media are separate from society. I don't believe politicians are separate from society. I don't believe pop stars, football players, and movie stars are separate from society. It's just that we've developed this thing for whatever reason that we think they are, that we're broken up into these fragmented pieces, countries, sexes, races. It's a joke. It's as Neanderthal as the political system. Holistic is what we need, not just in the health field. We need it in the political field, in the global field, and stop this paranoia of 90-year-old men playing macho games with the world and possibly the galaxy. Now, the thing about when you get older, you become this. If you believe that myth, it's again the belief system of, when we were kids, 30 was death, right? The whole culture was like, right? I'm 40 now and I feel better than before. You can atrophy your ideas of life at 20 or 30 or 40. I know some kids that left school at the same time as me who were, within 6 months of getting a job, were absolutely locked in. You could say conservative. They might have been conservative socialists in England. There's just as many conservatives on the left as there are on the right. It's not a matter of politics, conservative. It's a matter of things. You don't get so emotionally up and down when you're older, because when you're younger, your genes are different, your hormones are different, so it absolutely has to express different. You can become mellower without becoming rigid. I'm still open to anything. I still believe almost in anything until it's disproved. I don't have any set pattern. I don't have any set answers. I'm as open as ever. What I really got through this 5 years is I'm not running for office. I like to be liked. I don't like to offend people. I would like to be a happy, contented person. I don't want to have to sell my soul to have a hit record. I've discovered that I can live without it, and it makes it happier for me. But I'm not going to come back in and try and create a persona who would not be myself.